We're down to the last part of inventory. Inventory estimation. Okay, now, to recall, na-discuss natin previously, every end of the year, December 31, we have to perform physical count. Okay? So yung physical count natin yan will be the basis of our ending inventory. And in-emphasize ko na whether periodic or perpetual, we are required by the standards to perform physical count. Literally, bibilangin natin yung inventory. Okay? Now, there are instances wherein we are allowed to estimate inventory. Okay? Kaya inventory estimation. We have three instances. Number one, we can estimate the inventory for interim reporting. Certainly, ibig sabihin ng interim reporting. So, corporations in the Philippines are required to prepare quarterly financial statements. So, sa timeline natin, pag corporation ka, kailangan mag-prepare for ng FS quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. Hindi lang annual. Per quarter, required tayo kapag corporation. Now, it is impractical na every quarter mag-physical count tayo. Okay? Kung expensive yun and impractical. That's why we are allowed by the standards na, sige, pag quarterly yung i-prepare mo ng FS, pwedeng i-estimate mo na lang siya. Okay? That's what you call interim reporting. Pero again, pag December 31, kailangan physical count yan. Okay? Next, if the inventories were destroyed. Pag na-destroy yung inventories, for example, fire, from flood, or other calamities, in the first place, hindi tayo makapag-physical count. Ano bibilangin natin? Destroyed na nga yung inventories. So that's another instance wherein we are allowed to estimate inventories. And number 3 is to test reasonableness of physical count. Okay? So nag-count tayo, pero para malaman natin kung reasonable ba yung count natin, we can estimate. Alright? So again, ulitin ko, sa standards, every December 31, pag prepare ka ng annual financial statements, physical count yan. Pero meron tayong mga instances wherein we're allowed to estimate inventories. Okay, sir? How do we estimate inventories? Meron tayong two methods. Gross profit method and retail inventory method. Gross profit method muna tayo. What do you mean by gross profit? So to review, sales minus cost of goods sold, you have gross profit. So kung maglalagay tayo class yan ng amount, so for example, sales natin is 100,000, cost of goods sold is 60,000, our gross profit is 40,000. Okay? Now, in gross profit method, kailangan alam natin yung gross profit rate or GPR. Gross profit rate is computed as gross profit over sales. So, 40,000 divided by 100,000, yung gross profit rate natin class is 40%. Okay? Now, meron din tayo tinatawag na cost ratio, which is very important. Pag sinabing cost ratio, cost of goods sold over sales. So, 60,000 over 100,000, that is 60%. Okay? Ang tawag natin dyan, cost ratio. Now, yung cost ratio na yan, iyan yung gagamitin natin class to estimate our ending inventory. Yan yung pinaka-important sa atin. So, ibabas ko yung cost ratio is very important. Now, sales natin 100%, cost ratio 60%, our GPR or gross profit rate is 40%. So, sir, paano natin gagamitin yung cost ratio? So, ganito yan class. For example, ito yung given sa iso problem. So, we have beginning inventory. Let's assume 20,000. And then purchases, let's say 180,000. So, meron tayong cost of goods available for sale na 200,000. Okay? Now, for example, yan lang yung given sa'yo. And sinabi sa problem, gross profit rate or GPR is 40%. Paano natin makakompute yung ending inventory? Ganito lang yung class. Since ang computation natin ng cost of goods sold is beginning inventory plus purchases, you have cost of goods available for sale. Minus ending inventory, you have cost of goods sold. Okay? Tama ba class? Kapag alam mo yung cost of goods available for sale and alam mo yung cost of goods sold, pwede tayo mag-work back to get the ending inventory. Alright? So if ang given sa atin is sales na 100,000 and gross profit rate natin is 40%, kailangan natin malaman yung cost ratio. Paano ba yung cost ratio? 1 minus 40%, which is 60%. Kung gagawin ko lang dyan, 100,000 times 60%, yun yung cost of goods sold natin, which is 60,000. Therefore, our ending inventory, 200,000 minus 60,000, you have 140,000. Ayun, estimate na natin yung ending inventory. Just to recall, basta alam natin yung gross profit rate, okay, mako-compute natin yung cost ratio. Paano yung cost ratio? 1 minus gross profit rate. 1 minus 40% is 60%. Meron kang sales ng 100, multiply mo sa 60%, yun yung cost of goods sold natin. And alam natin yung formula in computing cost of goods sold. Therefore, cost of goods available for sale minus cost of goods sold, you have ending inventory. Okay? So, para mas ma-imagine nyo siya, pwede natin i-rearrange yan. So, cost of goods available for sale, 200,000. Madali lang isolve sa problem yan. Minus cost of goods sold na 60, you get the ending inventory of 140,000. Does this make sense? Yes? Kasi yung cost of goods available for sale class, yan yung total inventory na pwede nating ibenta. Okay? Cost of goods sold, yan yung nabenta natin. So yung total na pwedeng ibenta, minus lahat ng nabenta natin, ang difference nila is the ending inventory, yung remaining inventory natin. Okay? So that's how you apply the gross profit method. Ulitin ko. Cost of goods available for sale, yan yung goal mo, computin mo yan. Madali lang computin sa problem yan. Computin mo yung cost of goods sold, yung difference ng dalawa na yan. You have your ending inventory. Very important. Yung gross profit rate, i-convert mo sa cost ratio, or 1 minus gross profit rate, yun yung cost ratio. Gagamitin mo yung cost ratio to compute for the cost of goods sold. and then you get your ending inventory. Okay? Later, i-apply natin yung sa handouts natin. And last, for the gross profit method, our gross profit rate or GPR can be expressed in two ways. Pwede siyang based on sales or based on cost. Okay, so ano difference ng based on sales and based on cost? Yung based on sales, yun yung in-illustrate natin. Okay na yan. Okay? Ngayon, pag based on sales, na-compute natin class yung cost of goods sold. Paano natin siya compute? 100,000 times 1 minus gross profit rate 1 minus 40% or 60%. Okay? 100,000 times 60%, 60,000 yung cost of goods sold natin. Tama? Yun yung na-compute natin dito. So, walang problema. Yun yung gross profit rate based on sales. Pag naman based on cost, iba yung computation natin. Class, ganito gagawin natin dyan. 100,000 divided by 1.4. Okay? Makukuha mo dyan is, solve natin. 100,000 divided by 1.4, you get 71,429. 71,429. So, magkaiba yung nakuha natin. Pag based on sales, cost of goods sold mo ay 60,000. Pag based on cost, 71,429. Okay? If the problem is silent, tanda mo to, the gross profit rate is based on sales. Okay? I think so far, okay, I think lahat ng questions yan, or most of the questions based on sales yan. If the problem is silent, kung ano yung ginawa ko kanina, yun yung gagawin mo sa FAR. Alright? Just in case lang na i-mention yung based on cost, ganito yung computation mo dyan. Alright? So, sir, medyo nalito ako sa based on cost. So, ganito ginagawa ko dyan, class. I'll give you an illustration. Okay, so, scenario 1 natin is based on sales. So, sinabi sa problem, okay, gross profit rate of 40% based on sales. So, walang problema. I-rewrite lang natin. Tandaan mo, class, kung saan siya based, yun yung 100%. Okay? So, paano yun, sir? Sales minus cost of goods sold, you have gross profit. Sabi ko, kung saan siya based, 100%. Saan ba based? Sa sales. Okay? Therefore, 100% yan. Gross profit rate is 40%. Our cost of goods sold is 60%. Walang problema. So, meron tayong sales. Okay? Meron tayong sales na 100,000. Doon sa original given natin. Multiply natin by our cost ratio na 60%. Okay? Multiply mo by 60%, you get 60,000. Walang problema yan. So, yun yung in-illustrate natin kanina. Okay? Very straightforward kapag based on sales. Sir, paano kapag based on cost? Pag sinabi sa problem class na gross profit rate natin is 40% based on cost. Sabi ko kanina kung saan siya based, yun yung 100%. Sales minus cost of goods sold, you have gross profit. Since based sa cost, ito yung 100% mo. Get ba yun? GPR natin 40%, therefore yung sales natin is 140%. Kaya dito class, ang ginawa natin kanina, 71,429 because yung sales mo 100,000. Divide by 1.4, yun yung 71,429. 100,000 minus 71,429, you have 28,571. 28,571, yun yung gross profit natin. Makita mo magkaiba? Dito yung cost of sales mo, 71,429. Dito naman, 60,000. Magkaiba yan. Sir, anong ginagawa mo? Actually, ginagawa ko class, kapag based on cost yung problem, kino-convert ko siya sa based on sales. So, yun yung una kong ginagawa. Paano yan, sir? Ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. Sabi dyan, GPR of 40% based on cost. Paano mo siya gagawin based on sales? Ang gagawin ko lang dyan, di-divide ko lang yung gross profit over sales. Okay? So, 40% over 140%. Ang makukuha mo dyan, class, 40 divided by 140, 28.57%. So, 28.57%, iyan yung gross profit rate natin based on sales. Okay? So, tingnan mo class, ang gagawin ko lang naka-based on sales na siya, na-convert ko na. So, ang cost of goods sold ko is basically equal to 100,000 times 1 minus 28.57%. Kumpitin natin. 1 minus 0.2857 times 100,000, you have 71,430. Okay? Or 71,429. Okay na siya. So, pwedeng ganun. Pwedeng i-divide mo, 100,000 divided by 1.4, makukuha mo yung 71,429, or i-convert natin siya. Based on cost, gagawin natin based on sales. Paano yun? 40 divided by 140. Okay? Nakuha natin 28.57. 100,000 times 1 minus 28.57, you get 71,429. So, class, ibig sabihin, your gross profit rate of 40% based on cost is the same as gross profit rate of 28.57% based on sales. Magkamukha lang sila. Okay? Kinonvert ko lang siya. So, just in case, tinuro ko lang. Pero again, if the problem is silent, based on sales yan. Katulad ng ginawa natin dito. FYI na lang yung based on cost. Just in case itanong, mali mo itanong, alam mo pa rin kung paano siya gawin. Ulitin ko, pag based on cost, ang ginagawa ko, kino-convert ko siya sa based on sales. Pag na-convert ko na siya, usual computation na lang. Okay? Sige. Apply natin yung class, gross profit method. Let's go to illustrative example number 8. Illustrative example number 8. Apply natin class yung gross profit method. Okay. Let's take a look at the question. Using the gross profit method, what is the estimated cost of inventory on March 31? Pag gross profit method, usually given yung gross profit rate, kukunin natin yung cost ratio. Ano yung cost ratio? 1 minus gross profit rate. Alright? Yun yung gagamitin natin to estimate the cost of ending inventory. Let's read the given. Pinnacle Company has a recent gross profit history of 40% of net sales. So, ayan. gross profit rate based on sales yan. Okay? Pag silent, based on sales ang gagamitin mo. Okay? Now, GPR natin, tama ba class? 40%. Therefore, yung cost ratio natin, or yung cost of goods sold over sales, 1 minus 40%, 60%. Yan yung gagamitin natin in the problem. Okay? The following data are available from the accounting records. Inventory January 1, 650. So, beginning inventory, 650,000. And then, meron tayong purchases na 3.2 million. And then, 3.2, tama, 650, 3.2, yes. And then net sales, okay, purchase return, 75,000, so minus yan. And then freight in, pa-plus natin yan to compute for the cost of goods available for sale, 50,000. Okay, so 650,000, tignan natin class, 650 plus 3.2 million minus 75 plus 50,000, you have 3,825,000. Cost of goods available for sale, 3,825,000. Ano sabi ko kanina class? Cost of goods available for sale minus cost of goods sold, you have ending inventory. So ulitin ko, cost of goods available for sale, yun yung lahat na pwede nating ibenta, available for sale. Minus yung nabenta natin, you get the ending inventory. Okay? So meron tayong cost of goods available for sale, compute natin yung cost of goods sold. Paano yan? Meron tayong net sales in the problem, nakita mo yung 4.5 million? Yes? Okay. So 4.5 million, multiply natin sa cost ratio, 60%, hindi sa GPR na 40%, dapat cost ratio. Kasi yung cost ratio, cost of goods sold over sales yan. Therefore, pag yung sales, minultiply mo sa cost of ratio, makukompute mo yung cost of goods sold. Okay? So, sales natin na 4.5 million times 60%, you get 2.7 million. Okay, so lahat ng pwede natin ibenta, cost of goods available for sale. I-minus natin sa nabenta natin, you get the ending inventory, 3,825 minus 2.7, you have 1,125,000. Answer natin class, letter A. Yan lang. Ang goal mo, yung dalawa na yan. Cost of goods available for sale and cost of goods sold. Kailangan yung cost ratio. From sales, makukompute mo yung cost of goods sold, sales times the cost ratio. Okay? Let's go to illustrative example number 9. Okay, what is the estimated cost of missing inventory at year end? O, tingnan natin. BSA company provided the following information. Beginning inventory. So, lagay ko na agad dyan. Kasi kailangan ko yan to compute for the cost of goods available for sales. 650. Purchases, 2.3 million. Purchase returns, 80,000. So, minus yan. And then freight in, you have 68,000. Okay, so add natin yung class, makukompute natin yung cost of goods available for sale. 650 plus 2.3 million minus 80,000 plus 60,000, that is 2,930,000. Uy, may cost of goods available for sale na. Cost of goods sold na lang. Paano natin kukumpire yan? Well, meron tayong sales. Okay, we have sales na 3.4 million. And then, we have sales discount. Okay, take note class na yung sales discount, di ba ibig sabihin yan? Discounted yung babayaran sa atin ni customer. Tama? Tandaan mo, no flow of physical units yan. Okay? Walang physical units na involved yan. Discount lang yun eh. Okay? So, hindi siya makaka-affect ng physical flow of our inventory. For the purposes of gross profit method, tandaan mo yung class, i-ignore mo yung sales discount na yan. Tandaan mo, ignored yan. Sir, bakit ulit ignored? No physical flow of units. Tandaan mo yan ha? Pero yung sales returns, literally, binalik sa'yo yan ni customer. So, meron siyang physical flow. Okay? That's why i-consider mo yan. Got it? So, sales returns, 30,000 minus 30,000. Ignore na kapag sales discount. Ang mabuti yan, maraming nagkakamali dyan. So, you get the net sales, 3.4 million, minus 30,000, that is 3,370,000. Okay, yun yung net sales. Now, let's read the next paragraph. At year-end, a physical inventory revealed that the ending inventory was only 420,000. May natira naman. Yun yung remaining inventory. Basically, yun yung hindi missing. Okay? The gross profit rate on sales has remained constant at 30%. Kung GPR mo is 30, therefore cost ratio is 70%. Now, cost of goods sold natin, 3,370,000 times 70%. Tignan natin class. 3,370 times 0.7, this is our cost of goods sold, 2,359,000. Okay? Therefore, our should be ending inventory is, okay, 2,930,000 minus 2,359,000, 571,000. Okay? Pero kasi hindi yan yung sagot ha. Ang tanong sa atin, cost of missing inventory. Huwag mo isasagot yung 571,000 yan. Kasi may natira. Sa second paragraph, may natira doon sa atin na 420,000. Therefore, 571 minus 420 na remaining, okay? 571 minus 420, ang missing inventory natin is 151,000. Letter A, 151,000. Nakuha nyo class ha, bakit hindi ito yung sagot? Una, wala sa choices yan. Okay? So ito yung should be. Tama? Ito yung should be. Now, yung 420, yun yung talagang nabilang. Alright? Yun yung nabilang. Therefore, yung difference na yun yung nawawala. Yun yung missing inventory. Letter A. Ulitin ko lang, take note, pag sales discounts, huwag mo i-consider yan. Because walang flow of physical units yan. Discount mo lang yan kay customer eh. Pinababa mo lang yung babayaran niya sa'yo. Okay? Sige. That's illustrative example number 9. Let's go to, okay, main problem number 2. So, punta mo na doon class. sa handouts natin, sa part 2, okay, main problem number 2. So, gross profit method din yan. So, lagay ko dito, main problem number 2. That is yung on the night of September 30. Kita niyo yan? On the night of September 30. Now, ang question sa atin is, what is the estimated amount of fire loss? So, ganun pa rin. How much daw yung fire loss? So, parang ito, yung second instance natin na destroy. Okay? So, alamin natin. Estimate natin kung how much yung na-destroy. On the night of September 30, a fire destroyed merchandise inventory at Gemina Company. All goods were completely destroyed except for partially damaged goods that normally sell for 100,000 and had an estimated NRV of 25,000 and undamaged goods that normally sell for 60. Babalikan natin yan. So, basically, nagkaroon ng fire, pero may natira naman. Hindi naman 100% na destroy. May natira. Okay? The following data are available. Inventory January 1, 660. Net purchases, 4240. Okay. So, meron tayong beginning inventory na 660,000. And then, we have purchases, 40,000. Therefore, class, yung cost of goods available for sale natin, 660. Okay, 660 plus 40,000, you have 4.9 million. Okay, and then, so meron tayong 3 years na may net sales na 5.6 million. Okay, so yung net sales natin, well, basically, multiply natin sa cost ratio to get the cost of goods sold. Alright? So, lagay natin dito class, cost of goods sold. Meron tayong net sales na 5.6 million, multiply natin sa cost ratio. So, yun na lang kulang natin, cost ratio. Now, sa table na binigay sa atin, meron tayong 2018 to 2020 and then may total. Alright? Net sales, cost of sales, gross income. Well, makakompute natin dyan yung cost ratio. So, ang gawin mo lang dyan, tama ba class, may net sales dyan na 9 million and then yung cost of sales or cost of goods sold na 6,750 and then we have gross profit of 2 to 50,000. Okay? So, ang gagawin ko, yung cost of sales, i-divide ko yan sa net sales to get the cost ratio. Okay? 6,750,000 divided by 9 million, that is 75%. Okay? Or pwede rin, gross profit over sales, 25% makuha mo doon. 1 minus 25%, cost ratio is 75%. Okay? Now, meron tayong sales. Multiply natin by 75%. The cost ratio, 5.6 million times 75%. You have 4.2 million. Okay, 4.2 million. Okay, so 4.9, yan yung total. Nabenta natin 4.2. Therefore, ang should be ending inventory natin is 700,000. Tama? Pero may natira. Okay? Hindi naman lahat na-destroy ng fire. Compute natin dito, class, kung how much yung remaining inventory. Okay? After the fire. Now, balik tayo dun sa second sentence. All goods were completely destroyed except for partially damaged goods that normally sell. Okay, for 100,000. Nakalagay, normally sell. Ibig sabihin, selling price yan. Okay, alam natin, class, yung inventory natin measured at cost. Okay, actually, LCNRV. Hindi at selling price. So, ang gagawin ko dyan, 100,000 times cost ratio na 75%. Iyon yung cost niya. Tama? That is 75,000. Alright, so double check ko lang. Estimated that normally sell for 100,000 and had estimated NRV. Okay, so that is, normally sell for 100,000 and had an estimated NRV for 25. Given na pala yung 25,000. Okay, so erase natin yan. Given na pala yung NRV, no? So, kahit i-apply mo yung LCNRV, mas mababa yung NRV na 25,000. So, lagay ko dyan class, NRV na 25,000 and undamaged goods. So, dalawa yan eh. Yung isa partially damaged, okay, may NRV daw siya na 25,000 and damaged goods and undamaged goods that normally sell for 60. Okay? So, ito yung partially damaged. Lagay ko lang partially damaged. Ito yung undamaged goods. How much daw? Normally sell for 60,000. 60,000, yun yung selling price. Multiply mo yun by 75% to get the cost. Okay? So, 60,000 times 75%, you have 45,000. Therefore, 25,000 plus 45, 70,000 yung total na hindi nasunog from the fire. Okay? Sir, paano mo dito ako yan? Yung una, yung partially damaged goods, meron daw siyang selling price na 100,000. Pag minultiply mo sa 75%, yan yung cost mo 75. Pero mas mababa yung NRV na 25. So alam natin, LCNRV, so 25 yung gagamitin mo. And then meron daw siya class dyan na undamaged goods normally sell for 60,000. Wala naman sinabing NRV, so cost gagamitin natin. 60,000 times 75%, yun yung cost niya, 45. 25 plus 45, 70, iyan yung total na hindi nasunog from the fire. Yung should be natin is 700,000. Okay? And then yung nasunog, yung remaining is 70,000. Therefore, yung na-destroy from the fire or fire loss, 630,000, letter B. Okay, basic. 700, yung should be inventory, natira sa atin is 70, difference sila, yun yung fire loss. Letter B, 630,000. Okay? That's gross profit method. Let's go to theory. Okay? Yung related theory questions. I think yung theories 1 to 4. Okay? Let's go to number 1. Inventory estimation will be required for all of the following except the 3. When interim financial statements are prepared. Yes, pwede yan. Okay, pwede yung estimate yan. So, tama A. Letter B, when inventory is destroyed. Yes, ito siya. Letter C, as proof of reasonable accuracy. Para ma-test natin yung reasonableness. Letter D, in the determination of ending inventory to be shown in the balance sheet. Pag December 31, physical count yan. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-estimate lang dyan. Letter D, except dog. A, B, C, pwede tayo mag-estimate. Letter D, hindi yan pwede. Number 2, the gross profit method of estimating ending inventory may be used for all of the following, except internal as well as external. Well, pwede siya sa, okay, estimating ending inventory, yes, pwede. Pag internal, big sabihin nyo, for management use lang yan. Okay, so internal sa company. Okay, and external, interim. Pag interim, pwede. Quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, pwede kang estimate lang dyan. Okay, kasi impractical nga kung every quarter magbibilang ka. So, pwede yung A. Letter B, internal as well as external year-end. Yun nagpamali. Pag year-end, December 31, hindi ka pwede mag-estimate dyan. Okay? Boy ang sagot mo dyan, except boy. Kasi internal pwede. Pero yung external, year-end, dapat dyan physical count. Okay? Letter C, estimate of inventory destroyed. Pwede yan. Test the validity of the inventory cost. Yes. Boy yung sagot natin sa number 2. Number 3, the use of gross profit method assumes. Punta ka sa letter D or dog. The relationship between the selling price and cost of goods sold is similar to prior years. So, ibig sabihin lang yung class, yung gross profit natin is similar sa prior years. Okay? Kasi again, pag gross profit method, important sa atin yung gross profit rate. From gross profit rate kasi makukompute natin yung cost ratio. Yung cost ratio yung gagamitin natin to solve for our ending inventory. Okay? Dog yung sagot natin dyan. Alright, yung letter A, the amount of gross profit is the same. Hindi same, similar. Pwedeng similar. Okay? Pero hindi exactly the same. Sales and cost of goods sold have not changed. Not necessarily. Inventory values have not increased. Dog yung best answer dyan. Letter number 4. How is the gross profit used as it relates to inventory valuation? A, to estimate cost of goods sold. B, to provide inventory value. Verify the accuracy of physical inventory. Okay. Letter D yung sagot natin. Verify the accuracy of the perpetual inventory records. Alright? So, how is the gross profit used as it relates to inventory valuation? Yung class, actually, pwede ring, I think for number 4, no, how is the gross profit used as it relates to inventory valuation? Letter A, to estimate cost of goods sold. Pwede. B, to provide inventory value. Okay. Well, year-end physical count dapat yan. Letter C, to verify the accuracy of the physical inventory. And letter D, to verify the accuracy of the perpetual inventory records. Actually, sagot ko dito, class, is letter D or dog. Okay. Verify the accuracy of the perpetual inventory records. Because yung sa records natin, for example, end of the year, ang ni-record natin is 100,000. Di ba sa perpetual, may running balance ka dyan eh. Tama? Paano malalaman kung accurate yung nasa running balance mo sa perpetual records? Well, pwede mong i-test yan using the gross profit method. Alright? So, for number 4, dog yung sagot ko dito. Verify the accuracy of the perpetual inventory records. Okay? So, ulitin ko, theory number 1, dog. Theory number 2, boy. Theory number 3, dog. Theory number 4, dog. Okay? So, that's gross profit method. Class, the next inventory estimation method is called the retail inventory method. This method is similar to the gross profit method, wherein our goal is to compute for the cost ratio. Because alam natin, pag na-compute natin yung cost ratio, we can now compute for the cost of goods sold and eventually the ending inventory. So again, retail inventory method, similar lang din yan sa gross profit method. Sir, bakit siya tinawag na retail inventory method? Because ginagamit yan usually sa mga retail businesses. Ang pinakamagandang example, sa department stores. For example, class, this is the SM department store. Ayan. And then, ang goal natin is to estimate the ending inventory of the men's section. Men's section. Let's say sa men's section, merong shirts, merong pants, shoes, and so on and so forth. Ayan. Now, kaya siya tinawag na retail inventory method because gagamitin natin to estimate the ending inventory are the retail prices. Ano ba, sir, yung retail prices? Basically, yun yung mga selling prices na makikita natin sa mga price tags. Okay? So, kaya siya applicable sa mga department stores. So, mga price tags. Okay? Now, in the standards, there are 2 acceptable approaches for retail inventory method. First one is the average method. And second one is FIFO. Okay? So, same lang siya as dun sa cost formulas natin or inventory formulas. Yung weighted average and FIFO. O dito, average and FIFO. Okay? Now, as you will see later sa illustrative examples natin, medyo mahaba yung application, medyo procedural siya for the retail inventory method. I-explain ko per item kung bakit ganun yung treatment, pero huwag niyo masyadong dibdibin. Yung retail inventory method, sobrang minsan lang yan tinatanong in the board exam. Pero syempre, aralin pa rin natin. Okay, so, let's go to illustrative example number 10. I think ito na yung last illustrative example natin for inventory. Okay, illustrative example number 10, let's apply the retail inventory method. Let's take a look at the requirements. Compute the ending inventory and cost of goods sold using the following methods. Average and FIFO, and later tuturo ako ano ibig sabihin ng conservative method. Okay? Pero focus muna tayo sa average and FIFO. Now, let's read the given. ABC department store, men's section, provided the following information. So sabi ko kanina, class, yung retail inventory method, similar siya sa gross profit method. So, ibig sabihin, class, ang goal natin first is to compute for the cost of goods available for sale. Once alam na natin yan, compute natin yung cost of goods sold, and from there, makukompute natin yung ending inventory. Okay? So, ganun lang din, except that mas mahaba lang yung computation natin for retail inventory method. Sige, so isayin natin, class. Inventory January 1, meron tayong cost. And then, meron tayong retail. Pag sinabi natin cost, alam natin kasi yun yung binayad natin sa supplier. Tama? Alam natin yung cost. Pag sinabi kong retail, yun yung nandun sa mga price tags. Yun yung mga selling prices. Gets? Okay, so, lagay ko dito, beginning inventory. Beginning inventory, that is 8,700. Yan yung cost. Yung retail niyan is 14,000. Next purchases, cost is 55,300. And then retail, 80,300. So again, ang kukumputin natin is the cost of goods available for sale. Okay? Freight in, kasama natin yan. Freight in, that is 2,000. As you can see, class, wala siya dun sa retail. Bakit, sir? Kasi class, ganito nangyari dyan. Diba? Ito si SM. Tama? Ito si supplier. So si SM, bibili kay supplier. Alright? So magsusupply si supplier kay SM. Yung freight na yan, yan yung freight from supplier to SM. Obviously, hindi na yan related dun sa men's section or yung mga nandun sa department store. Okay? Ang transaction dyan is between SM and supplier. Ito, tandaan mo, yung retail na yan, yan yung nandun mismo sa loob ng department store. Okay? So kaya dun sa freight, wala yung retail. Yung freight na yan, transaction between SM and the supplier. Okay? Next, purchase discounts. 500. As you notice, wala yan sa retail. Negative siya kasi discount. Again, yung purchase discount na yan, transaction yan between supplier and SM. So walang pakialam sa retail dyan. Next, purchase returns. As you notice here, class, merong 5,200 sa cost and then merong 8,600 sa retail. Yung minus natin yan kasi returns yan. Sir, bakit yung nag-minus sa retail? Kasi class, merong physical flow of inventory yan. Literally, binalik natin kay supplier yan. Kaya, tanggal sa cost and tanggal din siya sa retail. Okay? Again, minus yan because may physical flow of inventory. Binalik natin yan kay supplier. Next, departmental transfers in. DT in na lang or debit. Sir, ano ibig sabihin yan? Departmental transfers in. So, ganito yung class. Ito si men's section, tama? Ito si kids section. Ayan. Pag departmental transfer in, may ita-transfer from kids section to men's section. Siguro merong oversized na shirts sa kids section. O, ilipat na natin sa men's section yan. Okay? So, pinag-uusapan natin dito is the men's section. Therefore, madadagdagan yung inventory natin. Tama ba yan? So, kaya ang gagawin ko dito, class, sa departmental transfer in, plus 1,000 yan sa cost, plus 1,500 at retail. Gets yan? So, departmental transfer in from kids, transfer sa men's section. Men's section yung pinag-uusapan natin, o plus yan. Okay? Departmental transfer out or credit, opposite naman. From men's, nilipat natin dun sa kids. Okay? In that case, nabawasan naman tayo. So, it means, for credit, or departmental transfer out, 800, and then minus 1,200. Okay? So, I think gets naman yan. May difference ng dalawa. Next, merong markups. So, ano ibig sabihin ng markup? O, ganito yung class. For example, binili natin kay supplier yung isang t-shirt. Okay, 100. And then, nung dinisplay mo na yan sa men's section, ginawa mo 150. Okay, so from 100, bibenta natin kay supplier na 150. So yung 50 pesos, ang tawag mo dun, markup. Okay? So now, yung markup na yung class, lagay ko dito, markups, how much yun nandyan? 6,000. Okay? So yung markup na 6,000, obviously, retail mo lang yan ilalagay. Okay? Yun yung lalagay mo dun sa price tags natin. Okay? So 6,000. So lalagay ko dito, plus 6,000. Alright? So yung markup na yan, doon lang yan sa retail. Okay? So, ano ibig sabihin ng markup cancellation? Okay, so binaba natin. From 150, sige, 130 na lang. So, yung 20 pesos na binaba, markup cancellation yan. So, lagay ko dito, markup MC na lang, markup cancellation. So, minus, how much dito yan? 2,000. Minus naman yan kasi binaba yung prices natin. Okay? Next, markdowns. Markdowns. For example, class, nagkaroon ng Christmas sale. Okay, from 100, sige, mag-sale tayo. Gawin natin 80. Yung 20 na yan, markdown yung tawag dyan. Okay, so how much na nasa problem? Markdown, 12,000 minus yan. Kasi bumaba yung price natin. Okay, minus 12,000. And then, ano sir, ibig sabihin ng markdown cancellation? Tapos na yung Christmas sale, medyo itaas na ulit natin. Gawin natin 90. Yung 10 na yan, markdown cancellation yan. So, lagay ko na lang, MD. Markdown, MDC na lang. Okay, ito kanina, markup cancellation. Ito, markdown cancellation. So, plus naman yan, plus 3,000. Kasi tinaas natin yung prices. Okay? Pag tinaas mo yung price, syempre plus. Pag binaba mo yung price, minus naman yan. Okay? Now, skip muna natin yung sales, sales returns, sales discounts, employee discounts. Punta tayo dun sa normal spoilage and abnormal spoilage. Ano ba sir ibig sabihin ng spoilage? Spoilage, ibig sabihin na damage. Okay? For example, t-shirts. Let's say sa men's section, merong 100. For example lang, may 100 na t-shirts. Okay? And then on the average, ina-expect natin siguro mga 5 dyan, okay, madadamage. Okay, so 5, yun i-expect natin, madadamage. Alright? Ang tawag natin dun class kapag within expectation na 5, okay, normal spoilage yan. Ang tawag mo dyan, normal spoilage. Na-expect natin for the year, may 5 dyan, hindi natin mabibenta kasi madadamage, ma-spoil. Normal spoilage yan. Pero what if, anong nangyari? Yung total spoilage, 7. Okay? Yung 5 dyan, normal spoilage. Ngayon, yung nag-exceed na 2, ang tawag natin dyan, class, abnormal spoilage. Beyond expectation. So, ulitin ko. Sa men's section, may 100 na t-shirts. Okay? In-expect natin 5 dyan, magiging spoiled. Ang total na na-spoil talaga 7. Yung 5, ang tawag natin dyan, normal spoilage. Yung 2 na beyond expectation, abnormal spoilage yan. Okay? Yung normal spoilage, tandaan mo class, china-charge yan sa cost of goods sold. Yung abnormal spoilage, china-charge yan sa loss. Okay? Papakita ko yung journal entries para ma-appreciate nyo kung bakit yung treatment mamaya na ganun yung treatment. Explain ko yan. Punta tayo dito class. Ito yung mga journal entries. Okay? First, doon muna tayo sa normal spoilage. Again, pag sinabi normal spoilage, within expectation. How much yun nandito? 200 yun nakalagay. Entry mo dyan class, sa normal spoilage, debit cost of goods sold, credit inventory, 200. Okay? So, credit inventory kasi wala na yan eh. Hindi mo naman bebenta yan. Charge mo sa cost of goods sold kasi within expectation yan. Ngayon class, yung abnormal spoilage, charge natin sa loss. Debit loss, credit inventory, how much? 7,000. Okay? Or meron 5,000 yung cost, 7,000 yung retail. Okay? So, debit loss, credit inventory, that is 5,000. Okay? So, yun yung entry natin. So, yes, normal spoilage is 200 and then normal spoilage natin is 5,000. Okay. At cost, at retail is 7,000. Now, ano sir yung treatment niya dito sa computation natin? Ganito yung class. Yung abnormal spoilage, ima-minus mo yan both at cost and at retail. So, pakita ko muna. Sa cost, i-minus mo yan. How much? 5,000. Sa retail naman, 7,000. Sir, bakit? Okay. Bakit, sir? Because ang credit mo dyan, inventory. Tinanggal mo na siya sa inventory mo. Alright? Yung abnormal spoilage na yan, it's either galing yan sa beginning inventory or dun sa pinurchase natin this period. Hindi mo naman mabenta yan, edi tanggalin mo na sa cost and retail. Okay? Hindi na saleable yan. Later, i-explain ko kung bakit yung normal spoilage wala dito. Mamaya na. So, basta ito, tandaan mo lang, abnormal spoilage, debit loss, credit inventory, dapat wala na yan sa cost and retail. Hindi natin mabibenta yan. Alright? So, after this class, makukompute natin yung goods available for sale. So, compute natin. 87 plus 55.3 plus 2,000 minus 500 minus 52 plus, ulit. So, 87 plus 55.3 plus 2,000 minus 500 minus 52 plus 1,000 minus 800 minus 5,000. Na-compute ba yung 55,500? Okay. 55.5, ang tawag natin dito class is the cost of goods available for sale, which is, ito rin yun, cost of goods available for sale. Okay? Ito naman yung goods available for sale at retail. Okay? So, compute natin. 14,000 plus 80,300 minus 86 plus 15 minus 12 plus 6,000 minus 2,000 minus 12,000 plus 3,000 minus 7,000. You get 74,000. Ayun. 74,000. Now, meron na tayong cost, meron tayong retail. Makukompute na natin yung cost ratio. Okay? So class, pag dinivide mo yan, cost of goods available for sale, and then goods available for sale at retail, makukompute na yung cost ratio. Sige, so compute natin. 55,500 divided by 74,000, you have 75%. Ito yung pinaka-important sa atin, the cost ratio. Bakit ulit? Because yun yung gagamitin natin to estimate the ending inventory. Meron tayong goods available for sale. Alamin natin kung how much yung nabenta natin yung sales. Because from there, pag alam mo na yung sales, dyan mo i-apply yung cost ratio. Tama? So, yung gagawin ko dyan class. Punta ka dun sa sales. Okay, so lagay ko dito, compute natin yung net sales. Alright, net sales. Paano compute niya, sir? Oh, meron tayong sales na given sa problem. How much? Punta ka dun sa 3, 4, 6 items sa baba. Sales, nakita mo dyan class yung 43,800 na sales. Yes, 43,800. And then, i-minus natin dyan class yung sales returns. How much? 2,500. So, alam natin, sales returns, binalik mo yan sa customer. Tanggalin mo yan. Sales discounts, ignore. I-ignore mo yan para sa gross profit method. Bakit ulit? Because walang physical flow of inventory. Sales discounts, under gross profit method and retail inventory method, i-ignore mo yan. Kung papansinin, walang physical flow of inventory yan. Diniscountan mo lang dyan si customer. Sir, bakit yung purchase discount dito may minus mo? Okay? Sales discount, in-ignore mo. Magkaibang point of view yan. Purchase discount tayo yung buyer. Okay? Transaction yan between SM and supplier. Makaka-affect yan sa cost natin as the buyer because discount yan, minus natin yan sa purchases. Dito class, yung sales discount, point of view tayo ni seller. So, walang effect yan dun sa cost ng inventory natin. Purchase discount, minus mo yan dito. Sales discount, ignore mo yan. Tanda mo yan ha? Okay, next. Ang gagawin ko next class is employee discounts. Listen very carefully. Gusto ko, hindi lang alam mo yung procedure. Gusto ko naiintindihan mo bakit plus or minus yan. Employee discount class, ipa-plus ko yan. Plus 500. Bakit, sir? Employee discount, nag-plus 500 ka? Ganito yan, class. Kung titignan mo yung journal entry, so for example, yung sales lady doon, o yung mga sales people doon, sila yung bumili sa men's section. Okay? So, sila may discount sila. So, privilege nila yun or benefit nila sa SM yun. Parang gano'n. Now, ang gagawin natin dito, class, kung i-visualize mo yung entry, okay, employee discount, mag-assume na lang ng figures, debit, cash, credit sales. For example, normally, 1,000 dapat yung t-shirt. No, 1,000 yung t-shirt. For example, ako, salesman ako. Nagbabantay ako dun sa men's section. Ako bumili mismo. Ngayon, ang privilege ko, meron akong 50% discount. Okay? Now, instead of 1,000, yung nasa tag price, ang benefit ko, 500 na lang. Okay? So, 500 yung nasa babayaran. Ang entry natin, debit cash credit sales, 500. Debit cost of goods sold, credit inventory, let's say yung cost ng t-shirt na yun is 400. Class, kung mapapansin mo dito, anong nangyari? Yung cost of goods sold, ni-recognize mo pa rin siya at 100%. Kung magkano talaga yung cost ng binenta. Pero yung shirt, okay, because of the employee discount, 50% lang yung ni-recognize natin. Ang ni-record natin. Ulitin ko, 1,000 talaga yung nasa price tag. Okay? Kaya lang, since may discount ako as employee, 500 lang binayad ko. 100% yung ni-recognize natin na cost of goods sold. Pero 50% lang yung ni-recognize mo na sales. Therefore, understated yung sales natin na yan. Gets ba? Para maging apples to apples, yung cost and retail natin, kailangan mo i-add back yung difference ng dalawa. 1,000 minus 500, which represents the employee discount na 500. Ayun. Gets? Ayan. Kaya siya plus. Next. Ang gagawin ko pala dyan, class, i-add ko rin yung normal spoilage. Uy, asan yung normal spoilage natin? Tingin ka dun sa given, second to the last 200 yan. Plus 200. Bakit, sir? Ayan. Balik tayo dun sa normal spoilage. Debit cost of goods sold, credit inventory. Spoiled units. Alam natin, class, sa perpetual system, every time na magbebenta ka, debit AR credit sales, debit cost of goods sold, credit inventory. Lagi tayo may 2 entries, tama ba? Pero dito kung mapapansin mo, gumalaw si cost of goods sold, hindi gumalaw si sales. Ang normal entry kasi natin, class, debit AR credit sales, debit cost of goods sold, credit inventory. Tama? Sa perpetual. Nag-entry ka niyan, pero wala kang entry nito kasi nga spoiled units yan. Para maging apples to apples, okay, dapat pag gumalaw si cost of goods sold, gagalaw din dapat si sales. Okay? Kaya dapat mag-entry ka ng sales na ganyan. Kaya i-add natin si normal spoilage. Later, i-recap natin yan. Pero hopefully, nag-gets yung explanation. Alright. 43,800 minus 25 plus 500 plus 200. Na-compute ko dito is 42,000. Net sales is 42,000. Okay. So, class, tama ba? Meron ako net sales na 42,000. So, ang gagawin ko dyan, sa goods available for sale natin, na 74,000, ang gagawin ko, class, dyan, ima-minus ko yung net sales. Okay. Net sales na 42,000. Ito, yung na-compute ko dito. 74,000 minus 42,000, you get 32,000. Plus, ano yung 32,000 na yan? So, isipin mo buti, goods available for sale, lahat ng pwede ko ibenta. Minus yung nabenta ko. Tama ba, class? Ending inventory yan? Na 32,000. Tama? Kaya lang, ang problema dyan, at retail yan. Alam natin, yung inventory should be measured at cost. Diyan mo i-apply yung cost ratio na 75% times 75%. 32,000 times 75%, you get 24,000. Sagot natin dito, class, ending inventory natin at cost, hindi at retail, dapat at cost yan, is 24,000. So, ayan siya. And then, pinapakompute din sa atin yung cost of goods sold. Tama? So, yung cost of goods sold natin, since meron ka ng ending inventory, okay, ganito gagawin mo dyan, class. Cost of goods available for sale na 55,500. Tama ba? Cost of goods available for sale, 55,500. Ima-minus ko dyan, class, yung ending inventory at cost, na 24,000, yung na-compute natin earlier. Therefore, yung cost of goods sold natin is 55,500 minus 24,000. That is 31,500. Cost of goods sold, 31,500. Final answer natin under average method, ending inventory, 24,000. Cost of goods sold, 31,500. Ulitin natin. Okay? Later, bibilisan ko na, pero ulitin ko lang. Retail inventory method, same lang sa gross profit method. Wherein ang goal natin is to compute for the cost ratio. Nasaan yung cost ratio? Goods available for sale at cost over goods available for sale at retail. So, kaya, yung beginning inventory, purchases, etc., kinonsider natin yan. Markup plus, markup cancellation, minus, dito lang sa retail yan, markdown cancellation minus, markdown minus, markdown cancellation plus. Sir, bakit yung abnormal spoilage, minus mo sa pareho? Because, hindi mo mabibenta yan. Okay? Nandito yan sa beginning inventory or purchase, tanggalin mo, hindi mo mabibenta yan. Meron kang goods available for sale, na-compute mo yung cost ratio. Ang next step is the net sales. Sales, given yan. Sales returns, minus yan. Kasi may physical flow. Sales discounts, ignored. Employee discount, bakit natin plinas? Kasi understated yung nirecord mo na sales. Dapat 1,000, 500 lang nirecord. Kulang kang nirecord na 500. 1,000 minus 500. Yung kulang mo na nirecord, ilagay mo siya dyan. Normal spoilage, bakit siya plinas? Gumalaw yung cost of goods sold mo, pero walang galaw sa sales. Para maging apples to apples, i-plus mo yan. Nakuha mo na yung net sales. Goods available for sale at retail, 74. Minus mo yung net sales, lahat ng binenta mo, compute mo yung 32,000. Pero huwag mo sasagot yung 32,000 na yan. Kasi ending inventory at retail yan. Kailangan mo ending inventory at cost. Paano yan? Multiply mo sa cost ratio. Kuha mo yung 24,000. Cost of goods available for sale na 55,500 minus ending inventory at cost. You get cost of goods sold 31,500. Final answer under average method. Ending inventory 24,000. Cost of goods sold 31,500. Okay, let's go to FIFO. Mabilis na lang pag FIFO. Sa FIFO, ganito gagawin mo dyan, class. Okay, tayo sa average. Ito is average. Okay, pag FIFO, tandaan mo lang, ang difference lang nilang dalawa excludes beginning inventory. Yun lang siya. Okay? Yung cost ratio mo, exclude yung beginning inventory. Basically, pag nire-compute mo yan, huwag mo i-consider yung beginning inventory. Okay? Ngayon, hindi ko na i-recompute. Para mas efficient tayo, i-work back mo na lang siya. Ang gagawin ko dyan, class, yung goods available for sale ko at cost and retail, ganito lang gagawin ko dyan. Alright? So, 55.5, i-minus ko yung 8.7 kasi hindi mo i-consider yung beginning. Okay? 55.5 minus 8.7, makukompute mo dyan is 46,800. Okay, sa retail naman, 74,000, ima-minus ko yung 14. 74 minus 14 is 60,000. Okay, yung cost ratio natin, in this case, 46.8 minus 60,000. 46.8 divided by 60,000, 78%. Ulitin ko, kapag FIFO, yung cost ratio natin excludes beginning inventory. Alright? So basically, ang kino-consider mo lang yung nangyari during the period. Ulitin ko, pag FIFO, excludes beginning inventory. Therefore, cost ratio mo is 78. Kanina 75, naging 78 na lang. Okay? Now, compute natin yung ending inventory and yung cost of goods sold. Na-compute natin earlier yung ending inventory at retail. Lagay ko dyan, ending inventory at retail na 32,000. Okay, at retail. Multiply natin sa cost ratio na 78% times 78%. Yung ending inventory at cost natin. Okay, so 32,000 times 78%, 24,960. Okay, syempre, yung inventory at retail mo, 32,000, hindi naman babago yan. Kahit anong mangyari, okay? Sa cost ratio lang to, ini-exclude yung beginning inventory, ha? Cost ratio lang. Pero in terms of computation, ending inventory, same pa rin, 32,000 pa rin gagamitin natin. So sagot mo dyan, 24,960. Now, let's compute for the cost of goods sold. Goods available for sale. Okay? Nasaan yung cost of goods sold natin? So gagawin ko dito, class, cost of goods available for sale na 55,500, which is still 55.5, okay, which is still this one, okay, minus ending inventory na 24,960, yung nasagot natin earlier. Our cost of goods sold is 55,500 minus 24,960, you get 30,540. Sagot natin, ending inventory, 24,960, cost of goods sold, 30,540. Take note, i-exclude mo lang yung beginning inventory for the purposes of computing the cost ratio. Okay? Pero tingnan mo, yung cost of goods available for sale natin dito, ito pa rin yung ginamit ko, which includes the beginning inventory. Tandaan mo yan, ha? Baka i-exclude mo yan dito. Hindi. I-exclude mo lang yan sa cost ratio. Pero sa computation ng cost of goods available for sale, ito pa rin yung original natin ginawa. Okay? Sige, so, sir, ano ibig sabihin ng conservative method? Nakalagay sa number 3, conservative method. Yung average and FIFO, pwede siya maging conservative. Mini-mention sa problem yan. Or, conservative, ay tawag din LCNRV. So, pag nabasa mo yung LCNRV, conservative, kamukha lang yan, ha? Okay. So, ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. So, ito yung number 1, average. Number 2, FIFO. Number 3, gawin natin yung conservative or LCNRV na average. Conservative, average. Ano ibig sabihin yan, sir? Pag conservative, tandaan mo, class, ang ibig sabihin lang yan, excludes markdowns and markdown cancellations. Ganun siya. I-exclude lang natin yung markdown. Kasi nagiging conservative tayo. Alright? Markup, pwede yan. Pero pag markdown, binaba mo na yung price, conservative tayo, hindi natin consider yan. Okay? So, ang gagawin ko lang dyan, class, conservative na average. Tingnan mo gagawin ko, ha? Goods available for sale, i-recompute ko lang yan at cost and retail. How much yung markdown? Tama ba, class? Yung markdown and markdown cancellation, yung net niyan, 12,000 and 3,000, 9,000 yan. Tama? Ngayon, yung markdown sa retail lang yan. Therefore, yung cost ko pa rin is 55.5. Alright? So, yung retail na 74, sabi ko dyan, hindi mo i-consider yung markdown. Yung net natin is 9,000. Therefore, add back natin yan. Tama? 74,000 plus 9,000, makukompute mo dyan, 83,000. Nakuha nyo ba, class, kung saan ko nakuha yung 83,000? 74, add back natin yung 9, which is difference between 12 and 3. Kasi minus natin yan. Tama? So, kung tatanggalin mo siya, add back natin. Okay? So, 55.5 divided by 83,000, makukompute mo dyan, class, is 66.86%. Gawin lang natin 67% para naka-round up. 67%. Okay, so yun yung bagong cost ratio natin. Ending inventory is now 32,000. Okay, so 32,000 times 67%. Makukompute mo dyan, 21,440. Okay lang. So, nakompute ko to as 32,000 times 67%. Okay? Sagot mo dyan. Cost of goods sold natin is just cost of goods available for sale na 55.5 minus ending inventory na 21,440, you have 34,060. Okay? So, ulitin ko. Pag sinabing conservative na average, tatanggalin mo lang yung markdown dito sa retail. Same yung cost. Retail, 83,000. So, na-compute natin, ending inventory and cost of goods sold. Ito na siya. Okay? Sige. And then last one, what if naman conservative na FIFO? Hindi pag conservative na FIFO, tatanggalin mo yung beginning inventory, tatanggalin mo yung markdown. Okay? Actually, pwedeng dito na lang. So, yung cost natin, So, lagay dito, yung cost is 46.8. Okay? Yung retail natin, tama ba class? Yung retail natin this time, so yung 60,000 na yan, tama ba? 60,000, wala nang beginning inventory yan eh. I-add back natin yung 9,000. Tatagal natin yung markdown kasi conservative. So, 69,000. Okay? Therefore, yung bagong cost ratio natin, 46.8 divided by 69,000, you have 67.83%. Gawin na natin siyang 68%. Okay, 68%. Therefore, ending inventory natin, singit ko na lang dito, 32,000, okay, at retail, 32,000, ending inventory, multiply mo sa 68%, you get 21,760. Ending inventory. Cost of goods sold, okay, so 55,500 minus 21,760, you get 33,740. 33,740. Yan yung mga final answers natin. 21,760, 33,740. Ulitin ko lang. Pag sinabing conservative, tanggalin mo lang yung markdown. Yun lang ibig sabihin sa cost ratio. Pero yung cost of goods available for sale, laging ito pa rin yung gagamitin mo. Alright? So, these are your answers. Sige. Let's now go to, meron pa tayong 2 problems for retail inventory method, pero mas maikli na lang yan. Erase ko na class na, make sure nakapin nyo yan. Let's go to main problem number 4. Mas mabilis na. So, dapat gets nyo na yan. Main problem number 4. Main problem number 4. Okay. What amount will it report its ending inventory? Teresa Corp values inventory using the retail method FIFO. Pag FIFO, exclude the beginning. Tama? Lower of cost or NRV o yung conservative, exclude the markdown. Ayun na ibig sabihin nun. The following information is available for the year. Ganito gagawin ko class. Sabihin problem number 4. Meron tayong cost, meron tayong retail. Okay? Start tayo with beginning inventory, 80,000. Retail is 140,000. Purchases, 297,000. And then retail, 420,000. Freight in, that is 4,000. So again, wala yan sa retail. Breakage or spoilage, pag silent yung problem, assume normal spoilage. Tandaan mo yun ha. Pag normal spoilage, later may effect yan sa sales natin. Dito wala. Okay, markup. Naka-net na raw. So, ibig sabihin naka-net na sa markup cancellation, 10,000. Markdown, you have 2,000. Sir, akala ko ba lower of cost or NRV or conservative? Ba't nilagay yung markdown dyan? Mamaya na lang. Ayusin ko na lang later. Okay? So, yung usual computation muna. So, after that, you have your goods available for sale. Computin natin class. So, 80,000 plus 297,000 plus 4,000, you have 381,000. Okay? 381,000. 140,000 plus 420 plus 10 plus 2,000, you have 500 ulit. So, 140,000, markdown pala is minus. Okay, 140 plus 420 plus 10,000 minus 2,000, you have 568,000. Okay, ito yung usual. Pero sabi dyan, FIFO daw, no? Na LCNRV. So, ibig sabihin, pag FIFO, tanggalin ko yung beginning. So, tanggalin ko yung beginning, 80,000 and 140. Since LCNRV, you mark down, add back ko yan, plus 2,000. Kasi mahalaga sa atin ito, class later gagamitin ko yan. Kaya yung usual computation muna. And then for the cost ratio, adjust ko na lang. So 381,000 minus 80,000, 301,000. 301, so 568 minus 140 plus 2,000, 700, so 568,000 minus 140, and then plus 2,000, 430,000. Ayun, makukumpute ko na yung cost ratio natin. 301,000 divided by 430,000, cost ratio is 70%. Okay, so meron tayong cost ratio. Gagawin ko lang dyan, class. Ang tanong sa atin is ending inventory. So, compute natin yung net sales. Yung net sales natin, meron tayong sales dyan na 400,000. Okay, and then meron tayong normal spoilage. Sabi ko kayo na pag normal spoilage, add natin yan, plus 8,000. 408,000 yung net sales natin. Tama? Now, meron tayong goods available for sale na 568,000. So, kaya ko siya class yung typical computation muna, no? Kasi kailangan ko rin to. Kasi whether FIFO average or whatever, yung goods available for sale, lagi yan yung gagamitin ko. 568,000. And then, our net sales, 408,000. Makakompute natin dyan class, 568,000. Lahat ng pwede natin ibenta, na benta natin is 408. Therefore, 160,000 yung ending inventory at retail natin. Multiply mo sa cost ratio na 70%. 160,000 times 0.7, you have 112,000 letter A. 112,000 letter A. Ngayon, what if average yan? O kasama yung beginning, wala niyan. Okay? Paano kung walang LCNRV o markdown, i-consider natin yan. Alright? So, ganun lang siya. So, again, FIFO to and LCNRV, minus natin yung beginning kasi pag FIFO, exclude mo yung beginning. LCNRV, exclude mo yung markdown, kaya in-add back natin. Okay? So, yan. Last problem, problem number 5. Bibilisan ko lang ulit, class. For problem number 5, dito na lang. And then last na yan, and then we answer some theory questions related to retail inventory method. Okay. So yeah, the records of General Department for the month. Of Question is, using the retail or average retail, the ending inventory is. So main problem number 5. Kapag average, well, basically consider natin lahat. Okay? So, lagyan natin cost and then retail. Start tayo sa beginning inventory. Punta ka dun class sa second to the last item. Beginning inventory at cost, 440,000. Beginning inventory at retail, 800,000. Let's go to purchases. Punta ka dun sa purchases, fifth item sa baba. Okay? Purchase at cost, nakita mo yun? Purchase at cost, 4.5 million. So, dito yan. 4.5 million. And then, punta ka naman dun class sa 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sixth item sa taas. Pang-anim, sixth item. Nakita mo yung initial markup on purchases. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, 4.5 million plus initial markup on purchases. Yung dinagdag daw natin sa purchases, 2.9. Na-compute mo ba yung 7.4 million? Yun yung purchases at retail. Okay? So, paano ulit yan, sir? 4.5 million plus yung sixth item na initial markup on purchases sa 2.9. 4.5 plus 2.9, yun yung purchases at retail, 7.4. Next, purchase returns. Punta ka dun sa fourth item sa baba. Purchase returns at cost, 240,000 minus 240. At retail naman class, 350,000. Okay? And then, next natin is the freight. Punta ka dun sa, nasan yung freight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items sa baba. Freight on purchases, 100,000. Alam natin, at cost lang yan. And then, meron na tayong markup sa gitna. Tingin ka dun sa markup, additional markup. Nakita mo yung additional markup? Number, I think 7th item siya. So, yung additional markup, 250,000. Markup cancellation is 100. O, inet na natin. Lagyan natin net markup, which is 250 minus 100, 150,000. So, plus 150,000. And then, lagyan mo dyan net markdown. Markdown dyan is 600. Markdown cancellation is 100. So, yung difference is 500,000 minus 500,000. Okay, compute natin yung goods available for sale. 440 plus 4.5 minus 240 plus 100. This is 4.8 million. 4.8 million. Okay, at retail, 800 plus 7.4 minus 350 plus 150 minus 500. Okay, that's 800 plus 7.4 minus 350 plus 150 minus 500. Nakuha ko dito class, 7.5 million. Okay, 7.5. Divide ko siya, makukompute ko yung cost ratio. 4.8 million divided by 7.5, 64%. Okay. Compute natin yung net sales. Meron tayong sales. Tingin ka dun sa first item. Okay, 7.1 million. Sales allowances and discounts, no physical flow. Ignore yan. Sales discounts, sales allowances, ignore mo yan ha. Ay, consider mo lang sales returns, yung binalik mo sa customer. Sales returns, 500,000, so minus yan. And then, employee discounts. Uy, sabi ni sir, pag employee discounts, ipa-plus natin yan. Alam niyo na yung reason kung bakit. Plus 200,000. Thefts and other losses, yan yung normal, yan yung spoilage. Pag silent, normal spoilage. Okay, normal spoilage. Add natin yan, 100,000 plus 100,000. Okay, so 7.1 million minus 500,000 plus 200,000 plus 100,000. Next, net sales, 6.9 million. Okay, so meron tayong goods available for sale. I-minus mo yung net sales na 6.9. Therefore, compute mo dyan, 7.5 minus 6.9, 600,000 yung ending inventory natin at retail. Multiply mo yan sa 64% na cost ratio, 600,000 times 64%, you get 384,000. Answer, letter B, 384,000, basic. Okay, number 5 is boy. Ayan, so let's try to finish the theory questions. Theory question number, balik nga tayo class sa theory question number 4. Baka nalito kayo sa explanation ko earlier. Number 4 muna, how is the gross profit used as it relates to inventory valuation? Ang tanong is valuation or yung amount of ending inventory. Pamimilian mo lang dyan is C or dog. Okay? Letter C, verify the accuracy of the physical inventory. Okay, sana yan. Kasi yun yung third purpose dyan, tama? Kaya lang, ang tanong is valuation. Pag nag-count ka kasi, number of units yung pinag-uusapan natin. Okay, so to test the physical, yung physical count, okay sana yun. Kaya lang, again, valuation, so peso amount. Kaya dog yung sagot mo dyan. Verify the accuracy of the perpetual inventory records. Doon kasi sa records natin, ayun, peso amount yun. Yung amount talaga ng inventory. Yung letter C kasi, number of units yan. Yung letter D, yun yung kung how much talaga yung inventory. Okay? Ang tanong is inventory valuation. So yung peso, dog yung sagot mo sa number 4. Okay. Number 5, a major advantage of the retail inventory method. Punta ka class nun sa dog. Provides a method for inventory control and facilitates determination of the periodic inventory. Yes. Una, magandang control yan. Yung retail inventory because both the cost and retail, minomonitor natin. Hindi lang cost, pati retail. And also, determination of the periodic inventory. Obviously, cost of goods available for sale minus cost of goods sold, or yung goods available for sale minus net sales, yun yung ending inventory natin. So, kaya natin ma-compute yung periodic inventory or ending inventory through retail inventory method. Dog for number 5. Number 6, which would most likely use the retail inventory method? A, farm supply. B, dealer in heavy machinery. C, men's clothing shop. Parang example natin. Kasi kailangan mo dyan yung mga price tags. Okay, so yun, men's clothing shop or mga retail businesses. TV repair, hindi. Letter C for number 6. Number 7, which of the following could cause a decrease in the cost ratio? Decrease, ha? So, tingnan natin. Yung cost ratio, kailan daw siya magdi-decrease? A, higher freight charges. Pag mataas yung freight, mataas yung cost ratio mo. Higher retail prices. Pag mataas yung retail, mababa yung cost ratio mo. Boy na yung sagot dyan. Lower net markups. Mababa yung retail, mataas yung cost ratio. More employee discounts. Dito yung employee discounts. So, wala yan. Ang best answer natin is boy. Pag higher retail, mababa yung cost ratio natin. Boy for number 7. Number 8. The retail inventory method is characterized by, punta ka dun sa boy, the recording of purchase at selling price. Ayun, yung mga retail prices, yun yung selling prices natin. Or yung mga amounts dun sa mga price tags. Boy for number 8. Number 9, to determine an inventory valuation using the retail under the average method. Ito, average method to. The computation should include markups but not markdowns. Hindi. Pag average, lahat i-include natin. Boy, include markups and markdowns? Yes. Okay, boy na yung sagot mo dyan. Yung C, include markdowns but not exclude markups, wala yan. Boy yung sagot natin. Number 10, the retail method would include which of the following in the calculation of goods available for sale at cost but not at retail? Freight in. Ayun, nasa cost siya pero wala sa retail. Okay? So, sagot mo dyan, cost of goods at cost but not at retail. So, the retail method would include which of the following in the calculation of cost of goods available for sale at cost but not at, yes, freight in. Letter A yung sagot mo dyan. Kasi yung purchase returns, pareho yan. Okay? Yung markup and markdown sa retail lang yan. So, A yung sagot mo dito sa number 10. Okay? Freight in. Number 11, to produce an inventory valuation which approximates the lower of average cost or market or LCNRV or yung conservative, yung tawag natin dyan. The computation of the ratio of cost to retail, pagka conservative, A, include markups but not markdowns. So again, pag conservative, markdowns, ignore natin yan. A, sagot mo dyan. Number 12, ingat ka sa number 12. What is the treatment of inventory normal spoilage? Alam natin kasi normal spoilage, ina-add mo yan sa sales. Okay, explain ko na yung reason kung bakit. A, ignored, mali. B, deducted from sales, hindi, added to sales. C, deducted from cost of goods available for sale. D, deducted from goods available for sale. Actually, wala sa choices yung sagot. No? Ang sagot mo talaga dyan, added back to sales. Okay, added back. Pero, ang best answer dito, class, is dog. Deducted from goods available for sale. So, imagine mo, class, yung normal spoilage, alam natin, pag nasa choices, yung added back to sales, yun yung sagot mo. No? Pero, yung pag nag-plus 100,000 ka dito, and kung mag-minus 100,000 ka sa retail, same yung net effect niyan. Okay? Same yung net effect nila. Therefore, makukuha mo dun sa example natin kayo na same yung answer na makukuha mo. Either i-add mo dito or i-minus mo sa retail, same yung net effect. Kaya class, ang best answer sa number 12 is dog. Okay? Pero again, kapag nakalagay dyan, added back to sales, yun dapat yung sagot mo. But next best answer, dog yung sagot. Dog yung sagot. Number 13, under the retail inventory method, freight in would be included in the calculation of goods available for sale. Which of the following? Pag freight in, kasama yan sa cost, sa retail, hindi. Yes and no, letter C yung sagot natin. Okay, so tama ba, class? Nasagutan natin lahat sa inventory? Okay, so yes, goods available for sale at cost but not, teka lang. The retail method would include at cost but not at retail. Okay, at cost of that. Yes, tama lang. So number 13 is letter C, at cost but not at retail. Okay, so that's the end of our discussion for inventory.